Shalom. Call Loyim La Yahawashi Yahawashi Bashim Kakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone who were well, and as always, peace and salutations to the tabernacle of David, the hopeful elect. And real quick, I want y'all to listen to this. This is Haman, aka Vocab, and the statement that he's gonna say, in which he was responding to Nepal, right? And he basically made mention that he's gonna serve the Lord, but he's not gonna be a slave. So he has an issue with the prophecies, because the prophecies damn sure says that you nations are going to go right into captivity, and that you're going to serve Yahawashi and the Israelites. But watch what this guy say.
I've heard some of them talk about almost like paid butlers, but they don't.
So you're okay with that?
No,
I'm glad to hear it.
No,
I'm glad to hear that you're accepting your servitude that's coming up.
Hey, look, I serve Jesus. That's who I serve, and these guys should be. That's who they should be concerned about serving too, and not having people serve them. In fact, Jesus says, "Don't lord your authority over others like the Gentiles." So every time these Hebrew Israelites talk about you're going to serve us, they're showing they're really Gentiles because they're acting just the way Jesus said Gentiles actually act. Do not lord your authority over others like the Gentiles do.
And let me, and this is what I want to respond to. Let me address that. All right, because clearly he's taking what the Lord said out of context, because he doesn't want to accept his fate that all nations are going to have to serve the children of Israel. We always bring out the same scriptures regarding that fact. Revelation 13:9 and 10. Those were the words of the Lord himself. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Right? Jeremiah 30 and 16. Every one of them shall go into captivity. All right? He clearly ignores prophecy. All right? But he thinks that what the Lord said supersedes, all right, what it says in prophecy, when Yahawashi himself is not in disagreement with the law or the prophets. So according to him, it would seem to be a contradiction, because even in the law, it tells you that you can rule over the nations. But when it comes to your own brother, if you hire him as a servant, you're not supposed to rule over him with rigor. And that's what the Lord was alluding to. All right. Now let's prove that. And let's go to what Yahawashi said. Let's go to Mark 10. Let's go to Mark 10. And I'll start at verse 41. And let me red letter it. And it says that when the 10 heard it, they began to be much displeased with James and John. But Yahawashi called them to him and said unto them, you know that they which are accounted to rule over the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, and their great ones exercise authority upon them. But so shall it not be among you, but whosoever will be great among you shall be your minister, and whosoever of you will be the chiefest shall be servant of all. So are you telling me that according to this principle, when the kingdom of heaven is established, is our Lord going to be a servant to the nations? Is he going to be serving the other nations that's going to be subdued and subjected to his power and authority? Are you kidding me, Vocab? And are you telling me that even though the Israelites are going to be, joint heirs with our Lord, and that they're going to also rule over the nations? Is this principle going to be applied? Is that what you're trying to say? The Lord was speaking this to his disciples. He was saying this is not how we ought to be amongst each other, amongst ourselves. All right, don't lord over each other. Don't be tyrants over each other like the heathen do. Not saying that you can't have authority over others. In the kingdom, we're gonna have complete authority. All right, and the Lord would be if that's what you're interpreting as the Lord meaning, then you're saying that he's contradicting himself, because in Revelation, let's go to that in Revelation. Let's go to Revelation 2 and starting at verse 25. So maybe Yahawashi was contradicting himself. Revelation 2 and 25, it says, "But that which you have already, hold fast till I come." All right, meaning hold fast, your patience and your faith without wavering. Right? It says, "And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations." All right, and this is what he's telling to the church of uh, uh Thyatira. He's telling them, if you hold fast your faith unto the end and you keep, you endure to the end, doing the labor of love, I'm gonna grant you basically what my Father have grant me. Which, when you go to Psalms, the second chapter, we always go to that. He said, "Ask of me, and I will give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and you shall rule over them with a rod of iron." So the Lord is actually promising to the church. He's granting them the exact same privilege that the Lord, the Heavenly Father himself, granted to his son. So he's granting them authority over the nations too. So what does that mean, vocab? And let's look up that word power. And this is the word exousia. And it says the power of choice, liberty of doing as one pleases, leave or permission, physical and mental power, the ability or strength which one is endued, which he either possesses or exercises, the power of authority, influence, and of right privilege, the power of rule or government, the power of him whose will and commands must be submitted to by others and obeyed. All right, because in the kingdom, all nations are going to have to obey his dominion. Let's go real quick to Daniel. Let's go to Daniel 7. I'm going to read 13 and 14, and then we're going to jump down. It says, "And I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days," showing you that there's a clear distinction. "And they brought him near before him, and there was given him dominion," complete dominance, all right, authority. It says, "and glory, and a kingdom that all people, nations, and languages should serve him." So yeah, you're gonna serve Yahawashi, but not in a way that you think. Okay, and don't think because of the principle that he laid to his disciples that he's gonna apply that towards you. All right. No, he that is chiefest among you shall be servant of all. He was teaching his disciples how to be humble. He was teaching them humility. All right. It says, going back, it says, "His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, in his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed." Let's jump down to verse 27. And it says, "And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. So you're going to serve and obey Yahawashi and the saints. All right. The Most High selected Yahawashi as his first fruit, the first creation. That was his first begotten. And then the elect are the first fruits of Yahawashi. All right. So they're going to be given and granted with dominion too. They're going to be sitting on thrones. We're going to be a nation of kings and priests. And a king has authority. A king have the power of rule. A king has a government. Okay, so that means what? That you're gonna have, the Israelites are gonna have the power. All right, whose will and commands must be submitted to by others and obeyed. So that applies to you. This guy, he's a slick talker, man. He's a serpent, and you taking what the Lord said out of context. He's talking about not being a tyrant among your own. But that does not apply to the heathen. According to the law, let's go to it. Let's go to Leviticus 25 and 44. And it says, let me start at 43. It says, thou shalt not rule over him with rigor, but shalt fear thy power. Both thy bondmen and thy bondmaids, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen that are round about you. Of them shall you buy bondmen and bondmaids, slaves, slave men and slave women. Moreover, the children of the strangers that do sojourn among you, of them shall you buy, and of their families that are with you, which they begat in your land, and they shall be your possession. And ye shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you, to inherit them for a possession. So you're going to be a possession. Hey, when King David subdued the nations, when he went to war with them, they became a possession. He set up garrisons in their lands, and they became servants of tribute. They became slaves under King David. That's not going to be anything different to what's coming. The kingdom of David and Solomon was just a pretext to the everlasting kingdom. All right, and they served King David, and they served the Israelites. They were up under them. It says, they shall be your bondmen forever, but over your brethren, the children of Israel, you shall not rule one over another with rigor. Meaning what? With harshness and cruelty. Because that's exactly how the Gentiles exercise their lordship, with rigor. Just like this devil's doing now with these cruel as mandates. They trying to lock people in their homes because they refuse to get that venom injected into them. First they want to take away your liberties. They want to take away your livelihood, cut you off from having a social life. Now they talking about, and it's becoming a trend, they want to actually lock you down. You can't even come out of your home unless you're just going out to get food. Now that's complete rigor. That's cruelty. All right. The Israelites, we're not to be that way with each other. So that's the example that Yahawashi was proving. Okay? Because we're servants unto one another. Okay? This is dealing with love amongst the body and the brotherhood. But in the kingdom, don't get it effed up. You nations are going to serve. And maybe Vocab has an issue. Well, we know why he has an issue is because he's not one of us. Or he's a heathen and he's a devil. Let's go to Isaiah 14. And this is why he wants this to have been already fulfilled, going back to ancient Babylon, when ancient Babylon fell and it became the Medo-Persian Empire. He believes that this was around that time when it was fulfilled. When that's a bold-faced lie. We didn't possess slaves in our land of Babylonians when the Persians were over us. All right, we some of us came down and we had servants, but it didn't specify if they were Babylonians. So this is Isaiah 14 and 1. It says, "For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, just like the law says, and they shall take them captives who captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors." So we're gonna rule over you, man. So going back to what the Lord told the church, let's go back to Revelation 2 and 26. And it says, "And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, as I received of my Father." All right, so getting beat over the top with an iron rod, that don't look too that don't sound that exciting, because Vocab would have you believe that when he served the Lord, he's going to come to the Lord and hand him over some peanuts on a platter, with some with some grape juice on the side. you know he think that that's how it's going to go, and that the Lord's going to tell him, why thank you, sir. Hell no. You heathens, y'all have no clue. All right, so let me go from there. Let me get Isaiah 60, because even though you might not believe it, this is what the Lord said. Isaiah 60 and 12, it says, "For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yeah, those nations shall be utterly wasted." So not only are you gonna, bring your wealth, your forces into the Holy Land when that time comes, but also you're gonna have to serve these people, starting with Yahawashi first, and then down to his chosen. And if you won't do that, this is the condition. Let me get this in the other translation. It says, uh, the NLT, it says, "For the nations that refuse to serve you will be destroyed." That's cut and dry. NIV, "For the nation or kingdom that will not serve you will perish; it will be utterly ruined." All right, the ESV, English Standard Version, "For the nation and kingdom that will not serve you shall perish, and those nations shall be utterly laid waste." All right. So, what do you think about that? Yeah, this guy, he's really he hates prophecy. All right. You ain't gonna be no butler, man. You're gonna be out there in the field. All right. You're gonna be held to the standard of the law. Right now, you teach against the law that you ain't got to keep it, but in the kingdom, the law is gonna be enforced. pursuant to Isaiah the 2nd chapter. That's how you're gonna serve. You're gonna obey, our commands. All right. You're gonna yield yourself to the law of the Most High. All right. Ain't gonna be no what's that term? It starts with an A. I keep forgetting, man. I know anomianism. You know, nah. The law is gonna be in full effect, and the law, statutes, commandments are gonna be programmed in us. So we're gonna know the law, and we're gonna teach you. So it is what it is, man. You can disagree all you want, but the prophecies say what it say, and the Lord is not divided against His own Father, man. We're not going to be tyrannical amongst each other, but it didn't say that we can't lord over the heathen. That's what we're going to do, regardless, and that's the blessing of Jacob, that the nations are going to serve and they're going to bow to him. Let me get that too. Go to Genesis 27. Let me jump up. Yep, here it is. Genesis 27 and 26 says, and his father Isaac said unto him, come near now and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment and blessed him and said, see, the smell of my son is the smell of a field which the Lord hath blessed. Therefore the Most High power shall give thee the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth and plenty of corn and wine. Let the people serve thee. So vocab, you are going to serve the Israelites. And nations bow down to thee, and you're also going to bow to us. All right, it's going to start with Yahawashi. It's going to he's going to receive it all, but Yahawashi is going to share it and grant that same position to his people. All right, it says, "Be Lord over thy brethren." Ooh, ooh, hold on. But what did this guy say? So will Yahawashi be against what Isaac blessed Jacob with?
Kinder, gentler version of.
Oh, Jim. So I
Oh,
don't
not
get.
Israel of Israel of God has a
Hold on, let me go back.
I've heard some of them talk about almost like paid butlers, but they don't. It's
Oh, so you're okay with that?
no,
I'm glad to hear it.
no.
I'm glad to hear that you're accepting your servitude that's coming up.
Hey, look, I serve Jesus. That's who I serve, and these
Right.
guys should be. That's who they should be concerned about serving too, not having people serve them. In fact, Jesus says, "Don't lord your authority over others like the Gentiles." So every time these Hebrew Israelites talk about you're going to serve us, they're showing they're really Gentiles because they're acting just the way Jesus said Gentiles actually act. Do not lord your authority over others like the Gentiles do. But
Well, maybe he contradicted with his forefather Isaac, which, you know, this will definitely go over his head. Yahushai was Isaac, so the Lord is contradicting what he said in the past when he actually blessed Jacob. Let's read it again. Verse 29, let the people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren. And that's the Edomites. Okay, we're going to lord over the Edomites. It says, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. You see? So, I mean, who are we going to listen to? You or the scriptures? See, this is why we call you the devil. All right? Stop with the damn gaslighting, man. We're gonna lord over you. If you're not an Israelite, you're gonna be lorded over. All right? So It is what it is, man. I'm gonna end off with that. I'm gonna give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahawashi, and to the next lesson. Shalom.